all of you who have come here to cover this press conference, and all the students also who have come here to, with their concerns about this inquiry committee. As Comrade Kanhaiya has clearly laid out the future course of action and also the concerns that we have regarding the inquiry committee, reiterating that commitment to fight against this inquiry committee, against this very, very biased inquiry committee. I would like to add a few points. We have seen over the past few months how repeatedly not only the student union, not only the teachers association, the students of this campus with a signature campaign with around signed by almost about 2,000 students here at the administration block, they rejected this inquiry committee. Why have the students rejected the inquiry committee? Why have the teachers rejected the inquiry committee? The reasons for this are very, very clear. As we can see, most of the defendants in the committee, as Comrade Kanhaiya has also said, are from the Dalit, from the Muslim or the OBC communities. And at the same time, the person who is heading the committee, Rakesh Bhatnagar, he is the treasurer of Youth for Equality. Even now on the Youth for Equality blog, we can see Rakesh Bhatnagar's name and his official address mentioned as the treasurer, as the person to whom contributions must be sent. This is one aspect of it. There is another aspect. Many of you might remember that the earlier chief proctor, he had resigned from his post. The reasons were very much related to this inquiry committee. He mentioned how first a proctoral committee was formed, and within 4 hours of formation of that proctoral committee, this inquiry committee was formed. And you cannot dissolve, the administration cannot simply dissolve a proctoral inquiry committee without any documentation. What is happening really is that the government, instead of fighting us politically, instead of taking us on issues that we raise in front of them, we raise issues of unemployment, we raise issues of fellowship, of hostel, of caste-based discrimination on campuses. We raise questions about their policies like Swachh Bharat. We raise questions about Beti Bachao. We raise questions about their communal programs. And that is why they are targeting us. This inquiry committee, it's quite laughable that in a university where students pay rupees 250 as the fees for one semester, where the poorest of the poor students come and get elected to the union, there you are expecting students to pay rupees 10,000 and 20,000 fine. What is this? This is simply to create a chilling effect so that students do not say anything against Modi, students do not say anything against the government. We are being at a time when you might have seen that we have gone throughout the country challenging Modi government's policies, and people have responded in an overwhelming manner. At that time, the government is forcing, upon us its decisions. The government is fighting with us a proxy war. This inquiry committee is nothing but a proxy war that Narendra Modi is trying to fight with us through his puppets that he has installed in the administration. And as Comrade Kanhaiya has pointed out, they are in this process to install more and more such puppets in the administration. Now, we have been left with no other option but to fight this politically. And as Comrade Kanhaiya also mentioned, right now we have some pressing concerns in the university related to the admission policy. Many of you might be journalists who have been covering JNU for a very long time. You might know that in April and in October every year, there is supposed to be an academic council meeting. This must be the only semester in the past however many years that there has been no inquiry, there has been no academic council meeting. The administration was supposed to hold an academic council meeting by the end of April 2016, by the end of this semester, but it has not held. Why is it so? Because the administration, without consulting the students, without consulting the teachers, has pushed some very, very undemocratic changes to the admission policy. The deprivation point system has been fiddled with. There has been something like a cluster system introduced in the School of Languages, which restricts the choice of subjects that the students can opt for. At the same time, the High Court in its order has said that OBC students, OBC candidates must be given relaxation at both levels, both at the level of the minimum eligibility and at the level of the cutoff. But the administration overturning the High Court decision says that we will give relaxation only at one level. We must tell the administration that it is not their prerogative to give or to not give. Social justice is a concern that cannot be left to the prerogative of the university administration. They tell us that you violated the law of the land, but they themselves are violating the law of the land. After the High Court has given an order saying that relaxation must be given at both levels, they are saying that we'll give relaxation only at one level. And because the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, all these people were going to face questions from the students and the teachers on these issues in the Academic Council meeting. That is why at this time, instead of calling the Academic Council meeting, they have come up with this sham of an inquiry report. The inquiry committee had submitted its report 1.5 months back. But why are they bringing it up now? Because they're thinking, as Comrade Kanhaiya said, that there will be no protests. But we'll not allow that to happen. Students, not only in this university, will protest against this. We have been assured wherever we traveled by students, teachers, human rights activists, people from all walks of life, people who are trade unionists, people who are working in banks. Everyone has assured us support. Wherever we go, people have turned up in overwhelming numbers, and this inquiry committee report will see protests not only in JNU but throughout the country. We will give calls for mass demonstrations across the country, and we will ensure that no other student from a poor background, no other student from a Dalit community or a Muslim community or an OBC student, or generally any student, due to this vendetta of the government which is being exercised through the university administration, no one is forced to kill themselves. No one is forced to give their lives. On the contrary, all of us, whether we belong to any parties, whether we don't belong to any parties, there are many common students who have been targeted in this to create a chilling effect. We will all get together and we will fight this politically, and we will not give up this fight till we achieve a concrete solution on this.